Hi, guys. Today I'm so excited to have our guest with us today, Jody Rowe of the Event Certificate. Jody has been my coach for some years now and has just become a wealth of knowledge for me and a go-to person whenever I want to bounce things off. So I am so excited to have Jody here. I'm going to give Jody the floor here to let her give some of her background and let's so you can understand her expertise in the industry.
Hi guys, I'm Jodianne Rowe, the founder of the Event Certificate, and I work with wedding pros who are looking to bring more leads and traffic into their business. I focus a lot on digital marketing, specifically organic marketing. So if you're in that space and you're struggling to find leads, struggling to find clients, that's my area of expertise. I've been in the digital marketing space now for over 10 years, but I was also an event planner for over 17 years. So I think I know a little bit of something about the space and the industry and how to help you bring clients. And that's what I hope I'd be able to help you with a ton of information today.
Well, I'm excited again to have you here, Jody. So we're going to jump right in. So guys, get a pencil and paper so you can take notes because you don't want to miss these nuggets that Jody's going to drop today. So my first question to you, Jody, is what qualities or skills do you believe are essential for someone starting a business?
That's a good question, Bonnie. I think starting any business requires a certain level of skills, and it really depends on the different areas that you might have a better strength in. So there are three different areas I think any business owners need to be have strengths in, at least we'll say. The first is the idea creation phase, and I find a lot of people are really good at this piece, which is just coming up with different ideas of businesses and things you want to do, strategies. We all know so many people in our lives that are really good at this part. But the second piece, and this is where we start to lose a bit of people in terms of being a business owner, is actually being able to take that idea and convert it into something a little bit more actionable. So taking that idea and set it into a goal of what you want to do. So yes, you have an idea for a business, but being focused enough and taking the initiative to actually go ahead and research what's required, understand what a business needs to get started. And then the third piece is execution. So being focused enough to actually put all of that into action, right? Knowing what to do and executing it. And that piece, I think, if you have all of those three pieces, they're really good skills to have. And they're the three skills you find most business owners, especially successful business owners, will have.
Okay. So what steps do venue owners need to take to research their local market effectively?
Yeah, research is a really big piece for me and anytime you're starting any business because it's so important to understand what you need before you start the business. And for this piece, I know sometimes when you're new to the space and you haven't already done it, the research piece can seem a bit daunting. I say always just start with what's in front of you. If you have access to the internet, start with Google. Go to Google and look at all the things you might need. Just search how to start a business. Search the different things you might need for your specific area, or look in your local area and access the resources that are around. That could be your local business association. That could be just a library where you go into and look for different books, or just ask someone that's there what resources they have that you can access. There are so many tools at your fingertips where you can do that. And research is a piece. I say never to skip this piece. Just use the tools that you have and try to go through and find as much information as you can. Because when you do this piece well, you have a lot of information you need about things that you might run into or issues that you can get ahead of before you launch your business.
And so, Jody, when you say the research portion of it, don't you also think that it sets them up for success to know who their competitors are and what their competitors are offering?
Yes. I think looking at your competitors when you're starting is a very good idea because it gives you kind of a roadmap of what might be working for someone else that's in your space and how you can use that to inform your strategy or how you build your business. Now, I always caveat this by saying that doesn't mean you necessarily need to copy their strategies, but if you research your market, you look at the competitors, let's say you do a search and you see five different venues in your area and they're all marketed in specific ways. Like they all all are marketing through TikTok or Instagram, or they're all running specific type of ads. They're doing that for a reason. If they've been in the business for 10 years longer and they're operational and making a profit, use that to inform your research in so many different areas. Because if they're doing it, there's a reason it's working, and that's a good roadmap for you to apply or implement for when you start doing the same things in your business. So yeah, it's definitely important.
So, as a planner coach and myself as a prior wedding planner, I see that sometimes as a wedding planner transition into venue ownership, that they don't go back and do the research, because we've been in the industry for so long, but as wedding planners, having being a planner versus being a venue owner is completely different. So
Completely
what
different.
advice would you give a wedding planner transitioning into venue ownership as far as marketing, I mean, excuse me, as research and things of that nature?
I would say take it back to the drawing board. With any business that you're entering, even if you are already a business owner, you will probably understand a lot of the foundational stuff of just running a business and executing certain things. But each space will have different challenges and different needs. And for example, like as a wedding planner or venue owners, they're two very different businesses as you just highlighted. So go back to the drawing board, go back to the research. For a wedding planner, for example, a lot of wedding planners don't have a physical space. So there's a lot of things you might uncover in the research phase that you require for having a physical location. Like I know when we had our discussion, Bonnie, you talked a lot about, licenses and zoning and a lot of regulations that wedding planners don't even have to think about. So the researching and just taking it back to the drawing board is important anytime you're entering any new space, and especially if you're switching from wedding planner to venue ownership.
Okay, so now we're going to transition into what I feel that you are really one of the industry experts at is digital marketing and SEO.
Ooh,
So,
the
what
good
are the
stuff.
biggest mistakes that you see with venue owners, wedding pros that they make in the digital market with digital marketing strategies?
This is a good question. It's a really good question because I'm glad that you asked the question before this. So here's the biggest thing that I witness. It's the fact that for venues, they have a physical location, right? And having a physical location, a lot of venue owners, new venue owners, they subscribe to this ideology of if I build it, they will come. And because
Mhm.
unlike, say, a wedding planner, well, a wedding planner doesn't have a physical space, so they know you can build it, but no one's really coming, right? You do need to go a bit harder on the marketing side. The venue owners, they will sit a little bit longer thinking that the traditional method of having a physical space, you're in a community, especially if you're in a popular spot, they think once I'm there, people will find me. That's a huge mistake. And the biggest one I've seen is actually just not accessing digital marketing strategies earlier. Now, often when they meet me or when I find people are online who are struggling, it's because they realize often after they've wasted some time that just having a space and being there is not enough. And then they'll start looking into the digital marketing. But that's the biggest mistake I see is not doing digital marketing soon enough and relying too often on the traditional marketing method of just being visible.
Okay, great. So, how can venue owners optimize their websites to attract more qualified leads? So often people think a website is just there for to the pretty, it's for the contact form. But I
Just pretty
often tell
photos.
people yeah, and your website is your window to the world, as I like to say. So, sometimes, what advice can you give them to optimize their website and to generate those leads?
Yeah, so your website is your it's your home on the internet, and you can build it and you can make it pretty, you can do the pretty photos and the fonts and all that good thing. But the unfortunate reality is that doesn't attract traffic, right? The first thing you need to fully understand is how people are navigating the internet and how they use it to find services and how they're going to use it to find your venue. And once you understand that, then you should be structuring your website to meet that. Now, that's very theoretical, so let me just make it a little bit more practical in that you have to understand when someone goes to a platform like Google, what are they looking for? What's their intent? Do they type in a specific keyword, right? And once you understand that, you can then structure your website to meet that. And you can use so many tools to do this because I know you're on the business side of it. We might not automatically think about, well, a client, what would a client search, or we might not automatically know. So use the tools. Like Google is a great starter point for understanding what someone might search. You could just go to Google yourself. Let's say you have a wedding venue, you could just type wedding venue in the search bar and just don't do anything else. And Google will fill in some commonly, used keywords or things that people are searching. What you need to do now as a business owner is make a note of those keywords or those terms and make sure the content on your website is matching that. Because ultimately, Google and other search engines, they're just a matchmaking service. They're just trying to ensure that people who are on their platform and searching are finding useful content that's answering the question. And that's going to be your website if you have the content. So ensure that you're doing your keyword research. There's so many tools you can use. Google, you could use Uber Suggest to just research to find what those keywords are, and then structuring the content on your website to incorporate those keywords. That's how you optimize your on-page content. The second thing I would say is you need to do also a lot of the behind the scene optimization. And I won't go too deep into this because I'll drop a resource for them, Bonnie, where they can go and download it and it's a little bit more in depth, but just the behind
Okay.
the scenes stuff, right? So how you're structuring the titles of your page, how you name your images, how you structure your URL. So if you have, let's say, eventcertificate.com and you go backslash page two, right? You might want to change that to backslash wedding packages, right? Something that's a little bit more keyword focused and actionable to match someone's search. So there's the behind the scenes and there's the in front of the scenes of the page. And the third thing I would say is honestly just the flow of your website. I know because as business owners, you have so much knowledge in your head. And the thing that a lot of people will often do is they try to just dump all of that information on a website. That's not the best way, right? Think about your client experience. If someone is going to be navigating through your site, what are the things they want to see that's going to get them to you faster, to get them to make that booking faster, right? Is it an image of your venue that's just really nicely done that they can visualize themselves in the space? Or is it a call to action button that says to them, here, schedule a tour with us, or here, send us an email, or here, request pricing, right? How you lay that out and how you walk them through the site will make a huge difference. So definitely those are three key things to optimize in your site.
So, guys, did you write that down? Because that was some good information right there. So, make sure you write that down. You study that when you're going to implement your website. So, Jody, what roles does content marketing, that is blogs and videos, play in lead generation for venues? Because I know back in my wedding planning days, I wasn't blogging, and that was your hard fast thing. You've got to blog. You've got to blog. So how does all this, the keywords, the blogging and everything tie into content marketing?
Yeah, so I know I'm very much a push for getting content on your site because as I said earlier, Google and other search engine, they're in the matchmaking business. They're just trying to help that person find the match, the perfect match, and that might be your site. But the way to get to that is through your content. So a lot of what that entails is ensuring that the keyword someone is searching is throughout your site, but that is also in additional content pieces. So Bonnie gave two examples of blog posts. So ensuring that you're writing blog posts on your site that's addressing or answering questions that someone is looking for. And that after they find answers to those questions, you become almost like a default option for the person that they should be coming to next if they want to go a step further. So I always say, think about when someone's at the beginning of their journey. If you're a venue owner, someone is often searching for venue spaces. They're going to be searching specific things. They're looking for indoor wedding venue, outdoor wedding venue, waterfront wedding venue, just some examples. Try to write your blogs to meet those, especially highlighting the features of your space, right? If you're an outdoor wedding venue, if you are a small wedding venue, highlight a lot of that through your blogs and just give them the information they're looking for, highlight your space and let them know they can come to you. You can do the same through videos. I love video marketing. If you're watching this, you're probably watching it on YouTube. Do the videos that give information about how people can use your space, about how they can actually plan events there. Just information that they would be searching for that would help them when they're trying to book an event. Put those up on YouTube. Don't just let them live on your website. Your website is a great place, but also put them on YouTube where a lot of people can find them because YouTube is a search engine. But all of these content, all they do is they help people to get to you. And you do want that, right? Because the more people that are coming to you and seeing your business, the more leads you're able to generate. Now, I hope that I can give lots more different examples, Bonnie, but I won't make this video too long for anyone watching.
That's fine. That's some really great information. So now we're going to jump into lead generation and client acquisition.
Ooh,
What
yes.
strategy found that are most effective for lead generation, for generating leads?
What strategies? There is a few. Should I target this to new venue owners or existing venue owners? Or kind of do a bit of both.
Do a bit of both because our um, viewers are some have venues and some don't. So we have a lot of aspiring venue owners as well. So yeah, to both.
Okay. So in terms of lead generation, I'm all for the SEO game. SEO is a good way to bring very high quality targeted traffic because you're targeting specific terms that people are searching that you know you have the answer for. However, SEO, it does take some time and it does take some work in terms of if you're, let's say you need to have your website optimized and ranking, you need to be putting out the blogs, right? And a lot of that takes time to rank in Google. But it's a long game that everyone should be on because ultimately you want to be in the space where you're not constantly feel like you have to be marketing, and SEO allows you to do that. It allows you to set everything up, set a process in place, and step back from the constant marketing hamster wheel. But the other piece, if you want it really quickly, is just the directories. I find a lot of directories are good ways to get quick clients in the door, especially when you're new and starting up. And in my recommendation, I always say go for the free directories because I find there becomes a debate when you tell people go on here and go on there. There becomes a debate of if I'm going to pay this directory $500, is it worth it? And it becomes a question of ROI. That decision is eliminated on the free directories, right? Then you can go to Eventective, for example, sign up. They have a free listing, and you can see the inquiries that come in and you can purchase the leads specifically, right? So you have the option to purchase leads specifically to you, which is helpful, especially if you're new and you're on a limited budget. So look at it that way. So I say you go for the quick things like the free directories, Eventective, Zola, Party Slate, Bark. There's a ton of them that you can sign up on that get good quality leads while also doing the long-term SEO game because your website is your home and you should just have a good base and foundation that brings you leads. And the third is social media. I'm not a big proponent of it because social media does require time and dedication, but social media is a good way to get on there and get in front of people's faces, but you do need to be active. So if you have the time to do it, definitely do it. If you don't have the time and can hire someone to do it. But those are the three strategies I think works really well if you want to explode your leads.
I'm glad you said that about SEO, that it takes some time because, people think, oh, I'm going to hire somebody, I'm going to be on page one of Google, in, a matter of days or weeks or whatever.
Oh
But
yeah,
it is a long-term game and people don't
it is.
understand that. Yeah.
It
And
is.
and
And
that's
it's a set
why
it and forget it thing, right? Because the good thing is for SEO, you can write one blog that you wrote 5 years ago that still brings you leads today. For social media, if you have one post from 5 years ago that's still bringing you leads, I would give you like half my house. But it doesn't happen because it just moves so much faster. But I would still like that. It doesn't happen quickly, but to be able to sit back and just continue collecting revenue from something you did 5 years ago and didn't have to add to, I don't know about you, but that's a really good option to have on your plate.
exactly. And that's one of the things I can truly say that I learned from you years ago, and I have held steady with that, that tip. So, what advice would you give to nurture leads and convert inquiries into bookings?
So I think a lot of that for nurturing the lead and converting them comes from just understanding what a client needs and what they're looking for and ensuring that you're providing that to them. There's so many ways that you can do that, but from what I've experienced and what I've seen just doing a lot of business coaching, a lot of times when people are not converting leads, the leads are not converting, it's not a matter of like they don't have the tools or systems, it's that they fully don't understand the clients, right? And a lot of times when they're having these discussions with clients, we think, okay, I spoke to five leads today and none of them hired me. It must be my price. And all of a sudden they're slashing their prices. And it's really not that because I've had clients say to me, I cut my package in half to try to make this bride hire me. And then I found out she booked a friend of mine who was actually more expensive. And all of that, it really comes down to understanding that person. What are they looking for? What kind of experience are they trying to have in your venue? What do they need? And how can you structure your packages, your services, and just the experience you provide to meet that? That's the key to converting someone. If they can come to your space and say, yes, this is it, or yes, you know what, they don't have a caterer in-house, but they do have certain recommendations they can bring in. They have people that they work with who are all very qualified, top rated. They sent me over to this person, and the experience was so good. Like those are the kind of experiences that lead to a conversion. And understanding that and making that connection, honestly, is gold.
That's so true because as a venue owner, I do know once I get them in the door, and if they don't have these other services, and I make it a one-stop shop, and I
Yeah.
work with other professionals, that tends to bring me bookings.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I really do believe that is like the number one tip there.
Yeah, you really do have to understand that. Just think about, I always say, tells people, they always put yourself in their shoes and your experience. I can think of so many services where I've paid more money to have the same service, but just because of the experience that person provided to me, right? And your clients will be no different.
Exactly. So we're going to transition to marketing strategies for first year venue owners.
The newbies.
What is the exactly? And we have a lot of those that follow us on our here on our YouTube channel. But what are the most impactful marketing strategies that new venue owners can implement in their first year to attract their initial clients?
Yeah, I'm going to say the directories. Go for the directories right off the bat. And especially because you can do the directories while you're building your website. Because I know a lot of people will say, well, I need to do the website or I put this up and then I have to wait until I hire the web designer in 2 years when I have enough money. And all that's doing is just adding more roadblocks and roadblocks and roadblocks before you can get to the client. I say go for the directory. Set up your Google business listing profile. It's free. It shows up on Google when it's optimized. Go for that. And go for the other free directory options like the Eventectives and the Zolas and the Barks, right? Even though you have to pay for the leads on those platforms, set them up. But when you're new, it's one of the easiest way to go. Now, the second way is social media, but as I said, I always caveat to say social media does need time. You cannot just do a one post a day and run away and do no more strategy, right? You do need to understand what people are looking for, get on the platform and just post content that's meeting what they're needing and meeting them where they're at, right? Are they just in the venue searching space? Posting photos, show them the events in your space, show them what's possible, right? Give them the tours, give them the behind the scenes. And those are the kind of things that can get you leads very quickly when you're new.
Yeah, and also this can help them stretch their limited marketing budget.
Oh,
The free
for
directories,
sure.
social media. Yeah.
For sure. Because social media is free and all the other directories, they're free, right? And you choose, like on Adventective. Now, sometimes I've seen it fluctuate, but a lot of times the leads are like $2, $2.50 per leads, which when you're new and your marketing budget is limited, that's a dream compared to paying for a larger platform like the Knot or Wedding Wire or something where the leads aren't guaranteed. And sometimes a lot of people complain that it might be, they're not as transparent. Some of the inquiries they get are bots, right? It's definitely worth it to look at different options.
Well, you answered my other question about social media. So we're going to jump on to the client experience and expectations because we know
Ooh.
clients expect a lot from wedding pros. So, what do clients value most in their interaction with venues and planners?
Yeah, I honestly, in my experience, it's been just someone who fully understand what they need and just provide that. Because when someone is coming to you, especially if you're in the wedding space, they're planning such a big event and such a big life moment, and they have a lot of ideas in their head of what they want. Even though I know when we see them on the other side, they often just seem like they're demanding or, they want the princess treatment or all the other terms they might use, but they just have a vision of what they want it to be because it's such a significant moment. So just taking them on that journey of ensuring that you understand what their concerns are, you understand what their goals are, making sure your business is actually addressing that. So if they, they're someone who maybe they're a bit anxious about handing over such a large event or booking a space, ensure that they understand I'm available. If you have questions, here's how you can connect with me. Here's how you can contact me. Here are the services we provide. Here's what you can expect, right? Those are the things that changes your client experience and ensure someone has a lot of trust in handing over such a big life event to you, whether you're on the planning or event space side, right? That's for me, I think is the number one thing.
How important is it creating a streamlined client experience? And what tools or systems do you recommend?
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I love that question. Having a streamlined process is so important on so many levels. It's important on the client side because your clients get to flow seamlessly through an experience where they just feel taken care of every step of the way. But on the other side, just for you and your own business, it also helps you to not feel overwhelmed and it helps to save you time and save you money. So it's important to have all the things in place. There's so many tools you can use to do that. Let's start from just having a proper email system. I can't tell you how many people I email and they don't have proper emails that are bouncing back. Guys, even if you have to pay for the proper Gmail business email, just do it, right? It's worth it, right? Having good email system, ensuring that people can connect with you. If you have autoresponders on that you never check, remove them, right? All of those things need to be in place because that impacts your client experience and what they see when they interact with your business. Having a good website that ties all of this in. Use your CRMs. You can sign up for programs like Honeybook or Aisle Planner that gives such really good experience. Also, Dubsado. There's so many tools out there where you can add your clients in. You can work with them in the platforms. They're able to see, you can have workspaces together. You can send them invoices, proposals, see upcoming deadlines. All those things can just be tracked and managed for you. So you don't have to constantly be sending reminders, sending emails, trying to find an emails, trying to track down documents, all of that stuff. That's your entire client process and journey just captured in one program. I highly recommend those tools.
I'm telling you guys, back in the day before I hired Jody, I have to tell you the story. Before I hired Jody as my coach, I mean, I didn't have a CRM in place. And I was like responding to 20, 30, 40, 50 emails a day, and it just consumed my life, right? And
Yeah.
documents, I'm trying to put them in Excel spreadsheets, different, print them out, put them in different folders. But when you have a CRM, it makes your life and it streamlines your business so much. So it's definitely important. But not only that, Jody, it's the thing that when I'm allowed to go on a month vacation every year because I have my CRM in place,
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm
And that's a world
away.
of a difference. Just
Yeah,
think about
I'm
how much time
away.
it gives you back when you don't have to be. Sometimes people are asking the same questions and you're not sending the same emails over and over because you have like a templated automated thing that you can add into your process, or you just have templates sitting around ready to go. It saves time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I was saying, when I'm on vacation, I have this automation set up. But at night, in the morning before I leave to go out to tour for the day, if there's any kind of questions that my automation doesn't respond to, I'll respond and then I'll go out. Then at night, I'll check it again. So it gives you your life back. And
Yeah.
it also helps you with that lead generation, because if you're not responding to them within the in 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, people are on to the next and you've
Yeah.
lost business.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're searching.
So exactly. And they're not going to wait for you. They have money to spend. And if you're not available to them, they're on to the next.
That's right. They'll spend it somewhere
So
else.
exactly. So we're going to talk about adaptability and growth. How should venue owners and wedding pros adapt to the economic or social changes that are affecting the industry today? We got a lot of changes going on.
So I'm in Canada, so it's a little different, but kind of similar over here.
Right.
I it's important to understand, I think in any business in any space, just understand what's going on and how it impacts your business. And if you're someone who went through, the COVID pandemic while you're in the wedding space, you might fully understand this. In that th when things change, I always tell my clients, you don't need to change your entire business, but you do need to understand how it changes your clients and their expectations, right? So, for example, when we saw COVID happening and everything, you didn't need to just throw away your entire wedding business or space, but you needed to adjust it. So, you need to adjust and downsize, maybe, change the wedding size. You need to change your policies. You need to change your packages to be smaller, right? More COVID design packages. I see the same goes for anything else that's changing economically. If you notice, people have less money these days to spend because maybe there is higher unemployment and they don't have as much money. Maybe instead of focusing on full service packages, you do a smaller, like a more intimate wedding package, or you look at how you can do different versions of what you already offer in the space. Or for a venue, think about if maybe if you only do venue only rentals, if someone is coming in and you can create a more full service package where they get everything all at once, but they don't have to run around to 10 different vendors and it costs a different amount, right? Because it's all in one space, then you can explore that. It's all about just understanding how your clients are changing as everything else is changing economically, and just work your business to meet that.
Right. So pretty much they want to diversify their revenue streams. Yeah.
Essentially, oh my God. I think venues, honestly, Bonnie, I think venues are a place compared to planners in a place where you can do so many things. And I won't get everyone going off the rails because you need to stay focused on your best venue business. But there's so many things you can do in this space, especially like during your downtime. Like there's a venue close to me who I actually walked in because I was looking for somewhere to do a photo shoot and they didn't offer that. And I asked her, I'm like, if I just bring in certain things, can I use your space to do a shoot or do setup or stuff? And the idea never even had occurred to her. And she had such a good space. But something as simple as that, just being able to look at different options you can use your venue space for to bring in multiple revenue streams is perfect.
Exactly. So when we talk about revenue streams, I think a lot of people don't really go into upselling and cross-selling. And so that plays a big part in diversifying their revenue streams as well.
Yeah.
How can you speak to that?
So I think I'll always take it back to the clients. So I was speaking to a client recently. I give you an example of this. And one of the things that he pointed out actually, so he said that he noticed a lot of his clients that were coming to him because of the location of his space were coming from a little bit away. And when they were coming, their guests sometimes were coming from out of town and they were often asking for accommodations. And he was thinking like his idea off the bat is I don't know what to like. I was referring them to hotels and referring them to accommodation and spaces. And I say, well, what if you actually just look at how you could include that into something you offer? Or if you know that there are certain hotels or other areas that are close by, reach out to them and see if you can do a partnership where you could do maybe some sort of joint thing where you get a commission or it's a referral where the client get a discount, right? There are so many avenues you can move with that. But I think when you have a venue, sometimes it's hard to see because your vision is so focused on your client and your space to see how you can go, as you said, cross-selling and upselling and all the different areas that you can go. So always thinking about it like that. When clients come to you, think about what they need. Think about the common things they're asking you. If they're asking you about all these different florals and things that you don't offer, think about opportunities to provide that or just, partner with someone to bring that in. Or if it's the accommodations, how you can partner with someone to make that a part of it. Because, yeah, you might not have a cabin connected to your venue space, but there's still opportunity to expand and get revenue from that.
Right. I often tell my clients if you're unsure how to diversify your stream, get into some of the online sites like Reddit or Wedding Wire and read what the what the brides are saying, that this venue didn't have this. Look at people's reviews and things like that. You can
Yeah.
get a plethora of information from those sources
Yeah.
and utilize those to your advantage.
Yes. That's gold, Bonnie. That's gold.
So, Jody, based on your experience as a wedding planner coach, what is your number one piece of advice for venue owners?
My advice is going to be a bit biased based on my position, but it's one that I think is still applicable, is that just keep marketing and marketing more than you think you need. In my experience, so many business owners, and I know my vision is very tunnel because I meet a lot of people at the place when they're struggling with marketing and need clients. But oftentimes we think we're marketing so much or we're annoying people or we don't want to do too much on social media. And oh, if I write 3 blogs, that's probably enough. I guarantee you it's not enough. Whatever you think you're doing right now, if you're not seeing a ton of leads and you're not booked solid, double your efforts because you're not doing enough and you're not annoying anyone. You have a business, you have a responsibility to get your business in front of the people who need your services. Keep marketing. This is what's going to pay your bills, right? And that's ultimately what your goal is. If you're annoying people, they can unfollow you, they can get out of your space, but try to get in front of the people that you need to. So market more than you think you do. I mean, look at McDonald's. They still marketing and they're a multi-billion dollar company. So don't ever
Right.
stop marketing.
Right. And so when you say that, I know people get frustrated because, they think they're going to open this business. And as you say, people think they will come and they
Yes.
get, down and they don't stay motivated. So how can they stay motivated and passionate through these challenges?
Yeah, I know it's hard. It's very difficult. My thing is just starting any business is just a difficult decision in and of itself. I always say just keep your eye on the goal and on the target, but also track your efforts. In my experience, I find when I track my effort and I see even the smaller amount of change, I know that makes me feel better because I feel like I'm seeing some sort of movement. Whereas when you don't track and you just do one thing, let's say you 3 posts on social media and nobody booked you, and then you post it and you do this for 3 weeks and nothing happened, it feels like you're throwing the spaghetti at the wall and nothing's working. But if you go back and look and you see, you know what? I look through my analytics and I notice that the 3 posts by the second week, 5 people liked this, whereas the first post nobody liked it. And the 5 people that liked weren't your friends and family members. That's actually progress. I know it doesn't seem like it in the moment, but that's progress. Like someone was saying to me yesterday, they're like, I was telling them something about YouTube and they say, Jody, you can say that you have over 20,000 subscribers. I go, I started with zero. I posted for a year every single week, one video per week for 1 year before I saw any traction on YouTube, right? But if I didn't stick to it, I wouldn't have gotten to 20,000. In that year, did I want to just stop? Of course. It's hard to stay motivated. But then every now and then I get one comment with someone that says, thank you for doing this. I had this question and this addressed it. So just take notes of the effort and the small wins that you are getting along the way. Now, in all of that, Bonnie, I also have to caveat to say sometimes what you're doing is not working because what you're doing is not the right strategy. So that's where it also helps to do that check-in. Because if you do the check-in, you know you're on the track, you're doing the thing and it's not working, just stop, pause, take a moment, reevaluate, and see if you need to change something up, right? Don't just throw it all out the window because you haven't hit, 6 figures, the 6 figures or the 1 million in 3 months, like everyone's selling you online. That's not realistic. It's going to require effort. It's just about keeping the goal in mind and tracking your progress.
One thing I'm glad you said is about analytics, because a lot of people do not track their analytics. They think,
At
okay, I can write a
all.
blog, I can post on social media. They don't understand where their traffic is coming from. They don't understand the
Yeah.
relevance of the numbers and how
Yeah.
they need to adjust to that. So I am so glad because back again, when I first started with you as a wedding planner, I was not tracking my analytics. And now I am an analytic hog. I look even on Instagram, you'll see you
Yeah.
got so many likes and this, that, and other, but you can go in and see if they were female, male, their age
Yeah.
groups and things like that. And that way you'll know your niche and who you're going to be marketing to.
Oh, for
And your
sure.
Google Analytics gives you a plethora of information as well.
Oh,
So
so
I'm
much.
so glad that you spoke to that.
Yeah, no, I don't think enough people do look at it. And I think a part of it is they don't fully understand because they focus so much on the vanity metrics, right? My Instagram post didn't get, 1,000 likes, or I don't have the 10,000 followers. Like, I'm so glad that Instagram got rid of that 10,000 follower swipe up thing because it allowed so many people to start focusing more on the business than on trying to get 10,000 followers, right? Because 10,000 followers wasn't money, it was just a vanity number. You can have 10,000 followers and have no revenue in your business. So the analytics are so important.
So, Jody, we're so glad that you came and spoke with us today. But can you tell us a little bit about the services that you offer that will be invaluable to our venue owners, with the SEO, the digital space? What do you do that can help them bring in their business and change about their websites and things of that nature?
Yeah, so my services are focused completely on lead generation. So if you're at the place in your business where you're not seeing the leads, you've been at it, and I tell people you've been at it now for a year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 years, and you're still not getting fully booked, you're at the place where you need to actually be speaking to me. Because if you've been in business that long and you're doing the effort and you're not seeing the traction, it means that something might be broken in your marketing channel, and that's something you can work to fix. So I work with clients to do done for you marketing services. So I actually dive into your business, go in and see what's wrong, what needs to be fixed, and optimize it. So whether that's your SEO or just your lead generation system, your funnels, we clean everything up, set it up, show you how to operate it, and send you on your way. Or we have some clients that say, you're not sending me on my way, I'm staying in your team is managing for me, and we do that as well. So we're a full marketing agency. Just let us know what you need. We're here, www.eventcertificate.com.
So we will have all Jody's information below. But let me tell you guys, truly, like I said, Jody has been my coach for years. I mean, when I started in the wedding planner space, and I've gone to venue ownership, now to coaching, and I'm telling you, the things that I learned from her years ago, I'm still applying in my business now, and and I can see the success of it. I mean, the analytics, the blogging, all these things work hand in hand for lead generation. So I'm telling you, Jody is the real deal. And I mean, I cannot preach high praises about her enough because I am testimony that it works. So, once again, she's given us some great nuggets today, some great insights. And what I ask you to do is to go back and look at this video again, take notes, and apply it to your business. And also contact Jody, because like I said, she is the real deal, So again,
Thanks for
Jody,
that, Bonnie. I did have a good student though, because you're very
yeah,
motivated.
well, you know me, I'm always on the move, always eager to learn. And that's what,
You are.
I want for my clients as well,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, we thank Jody for being with us. Again, all her information and resources will be below. So thank you again for joining us. And Jody, again, I so thank you. And I look forward to doing this with you again soon.
Aw, thanks, Bonnie. Thanks so much for having me, guys. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Exactly.